Okay, again, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to all of you. So, today is our week 2, week 2 or chapter 2 discussions, lecture on organizations of information or information's organization. By the way, I will mute all of your speaker to make sure that you can listen to my presentation clearly. Okay, so the topics for today is importance and needs for organizing information. This is very short and brief presentations for week 2. All right, let's go to our agenda. So for today's presentation, I will discuss or I will explain in 3 categories or 3 types or 3 agendas. So number 1, overview about the field of the organizations of recorded information, just brief introduction. And then for agenda number 2, the need to organize information. As we discussed last week, it is our nature or human nature to organize things. And number 3, major activities involved in organizations of information. So for this, I will discuss in the context of cycle of organizational activity. And this is considered the pillars or the most important part for this class, for our class today, since the activities of organizations of information will be the crucial part of this course. Dia adalah crucial yang paling penting dalam subjek ini kerana dia akan menentukan our next classes or our next discussions about this topic. Alright. Okay, as the introduction, I think the first step you need to know when we discuss about organizations of information is to define the term organized itself. The terms of organized itself. So what is organized? It is to form into a coherent unity or functioning whole. And some academicians or researchers, they refer organize to integrate, which means we use organize in the sense of arranging element into a whole of independent parts, which means kita integrate, kita organize to in order to integrate interdependent parts. Interdependent parts. Kenapa kita perlu integrate? Kenapa kita perlu organize? Kita dah discuss ini pada kelas kita yang pada minggu lepas, yang mana organize ataupun kita membuat penyusunan kaedah menyusun elemen-elemen itu supaya memudahkan untuk proses mengenal pasti, to search and retrieve, search and retrieve back. Especially information, but almost every day, we organize our time, we organize our things, our goods. Kita organize banyak perkara dalam kehidupan kita. Alright, so this chapter is dedicated to explaining the process of forming unity and arranging element as carried out by people who work in places that accumulate information resources for the use of humankind. So this topic today, we will explain or will discuss about why we need to form a unity. yeah, a forming unity of our information sources, yeah, our information sources or resources, and why we need to arrange the element that represent the information resources. Kenapa? Kenapa kita perlu buat perkara itu? Okay, as we discussed in brief last week, ya, kenapa ya kita perlu why we need to organize. And if you still remember last class, I did mention about it is a basic drive in human, basic drive for human to organize. Macam mana juga saya kisahkan psikologis, kaji ataupun researcher kajian yang menunjukkan baby's brain organize images into categories, macam mana dia mengenal pasti wajah, faces. Pada peringkat baby itu awal lagi mereka tidak boleh mengenal pasti warna, mereka tak boleh mengenal pasti warna, but they only recognize 3 colors, if not mistaken. Apa color dia? Dia hanya kenal pasti color putih, and then red and black. Mereka hanya kenal pasti 3 warna ini. Jadi mereka organize these 3 different color to form or to recognize, for example, human faces. To know human faces. Alright, let's go through to our discussion. Organization is a human endeavor. It's a human nature. Human have a basic instinct to organize. It's our instinct or it's our nature to organize things. Contohnya setiap hari kita ada perkara-perkara yang kita organize, contohnya aktiviti, pukul sekian hingga pukul sekian, apa aktiviti that kita akan buat contohnya, dan selepas itu apa agaknya pakaian yang kita akan pakai, bagaimana ataupun apa agaknya menu yang akan kita ambil pada hari ini, mana yang kita nak makan dulu dan sebagainya. As we grow, human develop more sophisticated cognitive abilities to categorize, to recognize pattern, to sort, to relate, and to create groups of things and ideas. So if you notice, ataupun if you remember, our basic instincts in organizing things, they actually grow as we grow. Daripada baby tadi, dia akan growing our ability to organize, to categorize, sehinggalah pada hari ini proses of organization tadi dia semakin lama semakin kompleks. Proses-proses organization dia semakin kompleks, and this actually align ability, our experience, and our age. Alright. Next, to understand the world around us. Why we need to organize? Because to understand the world around us. Alright. We organize because to save time. We follow certain schedule. Ataupun kita ada timetable. Kenapa? Untuk kita kenal pasti masa-masa yang kosong, and to save our time in doing things. We organize so that we can bring similar things together into groups. Organize to classify things or to arrange things into some pattern, ataupun into same patterns, and to bring this thing together as a groups. As a groups, we organize because we need to retrieve the things later on. Contohnya, kita organize pakaian kita dalam satu kabinet ataupun almari. Kita organize mengikut kategori. Kita lipat, kita susun mengikut apa agaknya kita susun. Bagaimana? Susun mengikut jenis ataupun kita susun ikut warna, ya, apa agaknya yang biasa kita buat. So fikirkan bila saya explain ni, cuba fikirkan apa yang kita buat. Atau adakah you semua campak, campak je pakaian tu dalam satu basket ataupun dalam you punya apa tu locker, just campak je. Ni ambil di penyidai tu, campak je dalam locker. So tengok apa yang you buat. Bila kita organize, as in stated in the next point, kita organize because we need to retrieve the things. Kalau dalam contoh tadi, pakaian tadi easily. Kita tahu kedudukannya di mana. Contohnya stokin ada satu tempat, baju ada satu tempat, seluar ada satu tempat. So easy for us to retrieve or to identify the item that we want to retrieve. And next, learning. Ada yang kejap ada yang nak masuk tak dapat. Yang tak dapat ni sebab apa ya? Ada request. Syahirah, siapa yang tak dapat masuk?
Nur Sakinah.
Nur Sakinah, apa problem dia?
Tak tahu, dia cakap dia tadi nak masuk tapi tak dapat. Doktor, saya tak dengar. Doktor mute ke?
Okay. Hello, dengar?
Dah okey dah.
Dengar ke? Boleh?
Dengar dah.
Sekejap, saya approve you punya kawan semua. Okay. Alright. Mana tadi? Okay, the last part number 2, the last part, learning process organized so that the relationships amongst ideas can be used to assist the learner in recalling the learned material. Okay, for example, we use curriculums and we use syllabus to organize our learning, teaching and learning content. Kenapa? Because when in education process especially, we need to plan systematically so that you will learn first As the introduction, for example, you learn the most fundamental concept or the basics of the knowledge. And then you go further daripada semester 1, semester 2, semester 3, dia become more and more complex. Difficulty juga berubah. Contohnya pada semester 1 you banyak belajar tentang basic knowledge. Basic knowledge or the fundamental of the course of the knowledge, and then you will go further until you boleh synthesize, analyze knowledge. Before that you will learn about the theory, the fundamental only. Begitu juga kalau dikaitkan dengan zaman-zaman sekolah, daripada asas hinggalah ke lebih kompleks. Alright, next. Number 3, retrieval of information. Retrieval of information is dependent upon its having been organized, as we discussed just now. Information is needed in all aspects of our life. If this information is not organized, it is difficult, or if not, impossible to retrieve or to find. That's why we need to organize information in some strategy. In our case, using tools, kita gunakan tool or standards. Apa standardnya yang you tahulah, kita ada DDC, LCC, AACR for example, or RDA to organize information and their elements so that you can or you may retrieve the information when it's needed. And okay, just imagine if you don't have this instrument or arrangement tools. Macam mana sekiranya tidak ada? So apa yang you akan buat? Contohnya you pergi ke library, you just browse. You tak disusun, you browse. Macam mana cara you nak browse? You try and error. So makes our life difficult. And we have many tools that are organized in the process of finding information that we need. For example, we have phone directory so that we can easily identify or retrieve your friends or colleagues' phone numbers, or family members' phone numbers. And then apa lagi? Kita ada dictionaries to know terminology or definitions of term. And then we do have databases for information search. Of course, there will be banyak jenis databases. Kita ada index, contoh index. Contohnya kita ada index, kalau dulu kita ada yellow pages for as a phone directories. Kita ada index of publication, for example. Okay, next, number 4. Is human endeavor, effort, or attempt. Is our attempt. Attempt apa dia? Organizations of information allow us to save for posterity copies of all kinds of work that result from human endeavor. For example, books, artwork, sound, recording. So organizations of information allow us to record, allow us to document to documented knowledge dalam pelbagai bentuk, dalam bentuk buku, dalam bentuk artworks, video, audio dan sebagainya. For the purpose of commercial and profit given, or for the benefits of humanity and as our knowledge reserve. So in this point, organization of information itself is the organizations of information yang kita hasilkan dalam bentuk tertiary information. Minggu lepas saya sentuh tentang primary, secondary and tertiary. Tertiary information juga mempunyai nilai commodity, mempunyai nilai yang boleh dijual beli. Contohnya, pada satu ketika dulu kita perlu membeli mendapatkan yellow pages ataupun directory yang kita beli. Begitu juga dengan index. ya, indeks surat khabar kita kena beli, indeks majalah kita kena beli. Ya, dari situ dia menunjukkan tertiary information will guide you or will point you to the original of information. Ya, dia akan point you kepada secondary information or primary information. Ya, so again, OI actually allow us to embark the apa tadi tertiary information. Alright, next. Okay, this is a comparison between recorded information. Okay, in theory and in practice, to compare. In theory, we identify the existence of all types of information-bearing entities as they are made available. In this point, information-bearing entity ini adalah dia punya medium ataupun types of information. Contohnya, maklumat tu ada dalam bentuk apa? Dalam bentuk buku. Ya? Di mana kita menyimpan maklumat? Dalam bentuk hard copy, soft copy, dalam bentuk thumb drive, CD, cloud, ya? Electronic information in your cloud account, for example. So, itu kita kata information bearing entities. And organizations of information will assist you, theoretically, will assist user in identifying these information bearing entities and their content. Okay, in practice, publishers announcement, email announcement, review, books in print, catalogs dan sebagainya digunakan untuk proses ini. Okay, this is some kinds of a marketing or promotion strategy from the publisher to let you know types of information that they publish and the apa information bearing entities. Number 2, identifying the works content within those information bearing entities or as part of them. Essay, poems, personal, biography, content letters, note dan sebagainya. Identifying the work contents, apa content kandungan, kandungannya dalam bentuk apa. Number 3, systematically pulling together these information bearing entities into a collections of information. And in practice, of course, we need the information agencies to pull this together and to collect this information as their collection. So, apa agensi yang ada? Kita akan belajar selepas ini pada minggu yang ketiga. But then, dalam contoh ini contoh je, libraries, archive, museum, internet website, office dan sebagainya merupakan information agencies. We call this as information agencies. So, information agencies, they play their role to pull together these information bearing entities and to develop their collection as part of their information services. Okay, producing list of these information bearing entities prepared according to standard rules for citation. Here are the rules, or we call this as standards, the standards ataupun rule ataupun guideline that we should follow in order to produce our surrogates information, to produce our surrogates of information, representations of information. In practice, bibliographies, index, library catalog, archival finding aids, museum register ini adalah surrogates of information tadi. Representations of information from the original work or original information. Contohnya, bibliografi yang dalam bentuk OPEC file ataupun catalog card, dia represent the books dia represent the original information dalam bentuk buku tadi, tapi dia hasilkan dalam bentuk lain. So number 4 in practice tu merupakan representations of the information or for the information surrogates. Number 5, providing names, title, subject, and other useful access to this information bearing entities. Yeah. So we identify, if you refer to ISBD, kita ada 8 area. The 8th area of teorinya adalah digunakan untuk assign the representation, to assign representations of the information. Ada 8 area. Saya akan sentuh kemudian what are the 8 areas of ISBD. And we use this element to search as number 5 in practice, keyword search, searching a collection database that has a control vocabulary structure. For example, the 8 area, kita gunakan title of the books, kita gunakan names, subjects, publishers, dan sebagainya. So, maklumat itu, maklumat ini kita assign berdasarkan the 8 areas of information description, the ISBD. 6, providing the means of locating each information bearing entity or a copy of it in theory, and in practice, we use catalog. For example, union catalog that represent the holding of a group or single library, online library databases that provide the physical locations and circulation status of material. We provide a descriptions about the books, for example. Kita sediakan description-nya. Dari situ, katalog yang kita retrieve akan memberikan maklumat mengenai bahan tersebut ada, tak ada, ataupun ada di shelf ataupun dalam pinjaman dan sebagainya. Okay, this is the 5 major organizations of information activities, and this is very related to cycle of information in our field, in our information management. And as I said earlier, OI activities is very important because ini adalah pillar, dia adalah pillar to our subject, IMC451. Jadi kelima-lima perkara ini akan belajar sepanjang berada di fakulti ini. Okay, so let's go through one by one. Number 1, acquisition. Saya rasa yang ini you dah belajar dalam subjek library library management. Ada ke you ambil paper library management sebelum ini? Ada tak? Department, you belajar department.
Okay.
Ya, ada.
Information management ke?
Ya, information management.
Ya.
Introduction.
Dr. Mahir.
Yes, the basic ataupun introduction to information management kan. Dia ada department, apa department tu buat, acquisition process bagaimana. Ada tak? Just brief kan?
Yes.
So yang ini you dah belajar. Yeah. Alright. And then what about custodianships? Tahu tak apa-apa tentang custodianship?
No, Doctor.
No, no idea at all. So custodianships ni, first you are the author. Kemudian you are the publisher. And then ownerships of the books, for example, siapa yang hold store ataupun simpan buku ini? The library, library ke? Ataupun information agency ke? Siapa custodianships of the information collection? And in organizations of information, they acknowledge custodianships in the books description, for example. Dalam ISBD contohnya, custodianship tu being highlighted as, for example, the author names and publisher name. Dua perkara itu dalam ISBD. Begitu juga yang lain-lain dalam katalog dia adalah library mana ataupun person in charge that process the collection. Nanti kita akan belajar kemudian. And then number 3, distribution. Distribution. Macam mana kita distribute our information? As we discussed last week, for example, academician, dia distribute their information, for example, research work, mereka publish sebagai buku, they publish as research article and then they present dalam conference contohnya. Dia menulis artikel that publish in newspaper, magazine dan sebagainya. So ini adalah distributions of information process. Jika kita kaitkan dengan product development, contohnya, bagaimana daripada satu produk tadi dia marketkan, dia highlight dia produk to their user. Dia produce catalog, dia buat advertisement dalam television, dalam newspaper, dalam website, dia buat press conference, dia ada press release, dan sebagainya. So itu adalah distributions of information about the product ataupun dia punya innovation tadi. Okay, number 4, disposition. What is disposition? Kelupusan. Terminologi secara term kita kata disposition. Tetapi disposition dia bukan dalam konteks pelupusan semata-mata. Disposition di sini juga merangkumi bagaimana kita meletakkan maklumat dari satu bahagian ke bahagian lain. Contohnya, maklumat itu dalam bentuk dalam bentuk fizikal, tetapi kita convert to ataupun kita digitize to produce the digital versions of a document, digital version of the books, kita buat e-books contohnya, juga itu merujuk kepada disposition. Tetapi yang you familiar, disposition adalah pelupusan. Maknanya maklumat tu dah outdated, buku-buku tu dah outdated more than maybe several years lah, sudah you rasa outdated and then you lupuskan. Tetapi again, disposition dia consists of these two things. Apa dia tadi? Dia memindahkan daripada satu bentuk ke bentuk yang lain, atau satu lokasi ke satu lokasi yang lain, sama ada pemindahan fizikal untuk pelupusan, keduanya adalah pemindahan fizikal ke dalam satu bentuk baru, ke dalam satu bentuk baru yang sesuai dengan keadaan pada masa tersebut, untuk membolehkan distribution dibuat dengan lebih luas. Ataupun pada masa yang sama dia relate to number 5, iaitu archiving. Dia pindahkan ke dalam bentuk digital because to save space of the books or digital versions of a document for easy archivings and record control. So archiving yang itu dalam number 5 lah, archiving. Alright, so basically these are the 5 major activities, major organizations of information activities. And so kelima perkara ini kita akan pelajari by one, mengikut ataupun berpandukan kepada our syllabus, our syllabus. Jadi semester ini akan belajar 5 perkara ini, secara setengahnya secara brief dan setengah yang lain secara in-depth. Alright. Okay, 6 nature of organizations of recorded information. Apa dia punya nature? Okay, ada siapa-siapa lagi yang tak dapat akses, minta maklumkan untuk just retry. Okay, identifying identifying the existence of all types of information resources as they are made available. Yeah. So nature number one, nature ini perlu you perlu tahu ya. Ini perlu ada dalam you punya kemahiran, ya, as part of your skill, ya, in organizations of information. Apa dia? Yang pertamanya, you mesti tahu bagaimana untuk identify existence or the existence of types of all information resources, that available to the user. Yeah. Number two, identifying the work contained within those information resources or as part of them. Contohnya, ada buku yang diterbitkan, bersama buku tadi ada disertakan electronic versions of the books. For example, they provide you with electronic video ke, or maybe dia ada software, especially computer ataupun IT books, they provide you with software, with sometime for statistic, they provide you with data, data dalam bentuk yang bukan dalam buku tu, but as part of the books. As part of the books. Number three, systematically pulling together those information resources into collection in libraries, archive, museum, internet communication file and others such as depositories. Ini juga as part of your skill later on. Untuk membina, kita panggil di sini collection development. Systematically pulling together these information resources into collection, we call this as a collection development process. Jika merujuk kepada information agency. And then number four, producing lists of these information resources prepared according to standard rules of citations. Tadi saya dah jelaskan di awal tadi, kenapa perlunya ini. Next, providing name, title, subject and other useful access to these information resources. Kita provide ataupun you assign the descriptions or descriptive information to be used in the searching process. You assign mengikut apa? Mengikut rules, mengikut standard rules. Contohnya kita gunakan ISBD, kita gunakan catalog, kita gunakan keyword search dan sebagainya. So you as the information professional later on, you will help your information agency and at the same time for the user, help them how to identify this information. And number six, providing the means of locating each information resource or a copy of it. Nature-nya di sini you can provide bantuan pada mereka bagaimana untuk mengenal pasti lokasi. Yang tadi penyusunan, tetapi yang ini juga adalah lokasi. So dalam library kita gunakan biasanya class number, classification number for to show or to guide the location of the informations. Alright, so I believe ini saja pembintangan ataupun kelas kita, perkongsian saya pada hari ini, week 2 about teori berkenaan dengan organizations of